Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Beth. Maybe I should welcome myself back to my channel. It's been a little bit, but my voice is back for the most part. I do still occasionally get a tickle, have to do some coughing, but we're getting there. We are on the up and up and up, which is a good thing. So being sick was a bad thing. Being on the up and up is a good thing. Of course, I have a new job. That is a good thing. I am enjoying it. That is a very good thing. I'm in the car 2 hours a day for my commute. That is not a good thing. I'm still working on getting moved to the new city where my job is. But for now, we are going to marathon film some things. If you see the exact same setup, same candle, same mug of tea, or just refilled same mug of tea, for 3 or 4 or 5 videos, I don't know how many I'm going to try to get in here. It is February 2nd. It is Sunday. I have an afternoon free, which is astonishing. We're going to film. We're going to get some videos up. Obviously, editing is going to take a little bit of time on each one of these, but we're going to get them done. Also, my son needs his bullet journal for February, so we got to do it. And lucky for me, I designed his theme back in December. I was trying to get ahead, but that's as far as I got. So March is going to be a crapshoot, y'all. I have no idea what his journal's going to look like for March, or if I'm going to find the time to design it. Hopefully I can swing it, but let's go ahead and get into it. This is his soul or sun journal from Notebook Therapy. We are going through some sun-related themes. He's giving me carte blanche. I get to pick them as we go. And for February, I chose the sundial. Now, this is a painting, and at some point, I had written down who did this painting so that I could tell you. And at the moment, I don't remember, so we're going to stick it somewhere in the editing so that you can see who did this painting. But I just loved it. I loved the sundial in it. I love the mottled appearance. I slapped the February on it. I slapped the shine time on it because that's what we're calling this theme. Shine time. Last month was the solar wind or solar voyage theme, and this one's just a little bit different. Also trying to figure out what type of paper. I have used washi paper, that's right, to print this. So we're going to get this peeled off just a little bit so we can get it into position. It should fit fairly close. We'll have to trim it a little bit, I think. And we might have to get out a marker, make some edges look a little cleaner. I don't know. We're just going to see how it goes down. Now, I was sitting here in my home on Saturday. I had allowed myself, quite literally, all of Saturday morning to do nothing. I finally had a weekend free. I didn't have any events this weekend. Thought I'm just going to do nothing. In the middle of my nothing, I got a text from the boy that said, "Mom, my bullet journal." And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I know I got to get it done, but bring it to me. So here we go. I do need to trim these corners. I had to move my mic to get into the drawer with the quarter cutter. The easiest way for me to do that is to put a piece of paper behind this washi tape, because this washi tape's not going to cut very well without some more sturdy paper behind it. This is just a post-it note that just says magic on it. It's a post-it on one side. I can spare some of these. They were close to me, and hence they got selected. And I'm just going to put that behind that washi tape, switch hands, and cut that corner just like that. And it'll get it all nice and neat. I'll do the same thing down here. And down here is where we have some space that we need to maybe color match. Maybe not. I might just leave it. I think if I try to color match this, I might mess it up even more. Not entirely positive. Right now I'm going to leave it. I'm just not going to mess with it. If it starts to bug me, or if the boy comes to me and says, "Yo, what did you do here?" then maybe I will change that. So February, we have switched to a linear calendar. I have this miniature February I'm going to stick up here in the corner. And then we're just going to write in a linear calendar. While we're doing all this, tell me, how was your January? Y'all know what my life's been like. Y'all know my life's been unprecedentedly stressful. So let me know what your lives have been like. How was your January? How did the beginning of the year go for you? I hope it was a little bit better than mine. I say that. I'm actually feeling pretty good. My youngest son has had his first treatment for his multiple sclerosis. That went well. he already has some improvement in some areas that had led to the diagnosis. I'm not feeling as overwhelmed as I was. I'm feeling moderately hopeful in terms of his situation, which is a good thing. And I'd like my job again, which is a better thing. I just need to not be commuting. Still working on it. We're going to number these. This is an 05 Pigma Micron, probably a little thick, but it'll be fine. The other thing that happens when you haven't filmed in a while, if you don't know what it's like to do this, even as a passion project, I sat down and the software that I film with, I use my phone, but I connect it to a cable to my computer and I use OBS. And of course, today it needed an update, which is always a fun time. I did the update, and then when I last filmed 2 weeks ago, I left a cup of tea on my desk. Other cat parents are probably knowing where this is gonna go. The fur babies apparently had knocked over that cup of tea, and I have not been in my office until yesterday for almost 2 weeks, my home office. Because again, I come home and I've got 3 hours left in my day and I'm making dinner, and sometimes I'm doing some laundry and I'm eating my dinner and I'm trying to wind down, and then I'm going to bed and I'm getting up and I'm getting in the car again. It's getting very old very quick. And in fact, last week I actually stayed at a hotel 2 nights in the town where I'm currently working because I just couldn't do it. So I just wasn't even in the house at all. I had the kid come over and check on the fur babies, and they had knocked over whatever was left in that cup of tea. And I did not know for almost 2 weeks. Part of it had gotten onto the remote control that is for my filming lights. I've had to replace those batteries. My filming lights are still working fine. The remote's not necessarily working that well. I had to fix all of that before I could start filming, and then I'd wandered off and put my filming sweater somewhere other than where it is supposed to live. And I just had this hard time even getting set up to do this today. So it's a good thing I'm batch filming. It's a great thing that I'm batch filming. February started yesterday, and that was a Saturday. Let's put the days of the week in here, and I just used a dot marker to highlight those. We have with us today just a regular old Crayola super tip. Let's see, so last time I did highlight the row all the way across on the weekends. Don't know if I want to do that again. I'm thinking maybe I'm just going to draw a line with the thin side of the dot marker to indicate where the weekends are. Because I did ask the boy if he wanted to change anything. Ooh, that's very light, but it'll work. His response was no. We'll talk about it a little bit when we get into his weeklies. There were some things that I thought maybe he would want to change in his weekly setup since we have moved into this traveler's journal and it's a whole different size situation. We're both learning, me in design and he in how he wants to use it. I try not to be too nosy in his stuff. I know I never show y'all what he has written down. I try not to even look at it. Sometimes I have to flip back to a page for reference to see, how did I set this up? Even then I try to be content blind. Only look at the design on the page and not necessarily anything that had to do with his content or what he wrote in here. I do have some washies. I've ordered some more gold washi tape because I have some golds and a lot of them are getting too weak to stick. They're very old. When I very first started bullet journaling, we're talking 4 years ago, is when I bought a lot of gold washi tape because at the time it was the aesthetic that I was going for. I had some gold washi tape. Let's see, I'm going to trim that. Because at the time it was the aesthetic that I was going for, I started my very first aesthetic bullet journal with a Lord of the Rings theme, and I really just had some green and some gold and black. We were keeping it to that color palette. Some of that gold washi tape that I bought so long ago definitively has finally lost its sticky. So I've ordered some more because we are going to be using gold washi tapes here in the boys setup. I also have some solid color washi tapes here that we can just add some additional color here and there in our sunshiny color palette. And I'm just trying to change it up a little bit month to month. So one month I might use an orange, another month I might use a pale yellow. Because he wants this sunshiny themed bullet journal to be cohesive, but we don't need it to be super matchy month to month to month to month, if you see what I'm saying. Okay, so we have February. I do have the paints. I am going to come in and add some gold shimmer. We're going to do that at the end so that I can get everything set up and then come back in and do that shimmer on top. All right, we're going to turn over. This is going to be his spending log as well as his notes page. I do have headers for those. There's his notes and his spend log. I've been playing with sticking different things into the font to make it a little bit more interesting as I've made these headers. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in. It's been very different to do this. If you had watched me do his custom bullet journal for the last, let's see, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you'd watched me do his custom bullet journal for the last 3 or 4 years, it's all been drawing. I've hand drawn as much as I could. And this one we've definitely reverted to the printables. And he was okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. Especially now that we made this decision before I had the new job. But it's definitely necessary now that I have the new job because I'm going 90 miles an hour at my new job, which is good because I don't like to be bored. And that was part of the problem with the last job. I'm going to grab a clip. These little clips, somebody asked me where they come from, and I don't remember who asked me that. These are from the top of a coffee bag from Starbucks. The kid works at Starbucks. He's a barista. And one day when he brought me a bag of coffee, I looked at that clip and went, oh, I like those better than any other clip I could buy. So now I have a very hefty collection and he brings me more so that I can clip down my pages without some big hulking clips, or I don't know, I just love it a whole lot better. But that's where those come from. That's from the top of coffee from the Starbucks bags. All right, spending log. This is just a chart. We're going to put in a date column, a money column, a description column, and then a need or a want column so that he can mark down whether that thing he purchased was a need or a want. And it's just getting him more accustomed to making conscious purchases rather than knee-jerk ones. And I don't know how y'all handle that. Especially when it comes to something like Amazon, and curse Jeff Bezos for making a product that I can't break myself away from because convenience is definitely the name of the game when it comes to things like shopping for me, at least right now. Maybe there will come a day where I can break away from Amazon, but it's not this day. Aowen, the female Dotson Beyond feline, is running around the house hollering. You may hear her galumping about, and you may hear her desperately trying to entice Faramir into some sort of play. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. I don't know if she's going to be successful or not. He is fat and lazy, and sometimes she really has to beg him to come play with her. They're the same age, so it's not like she's a kitten or anything, but sometimes she starts feeling feistier than he does. Y'all, sometimes I really hate using a ruler. You probably couldn't hear it, but she just came by and chirped at me. A little chirp, like, what's going on? Why will nobody come play with me? Why am I so alone? What doing? Yeah? Do you want to come up here? You do? I'm sure we are all enjoying that. Come here. Okay, now get down. Okay. Come on. Y'all, when she gets really excited, she drools. And now I'm gonna have to tell the kid, hey, if you have this funny spot on your bullet journal, it's because your cat, because she does love him, drooled. She came to see us while I was filming and she drooled all over your bullet journal. Oh well. She's still at it. Now she's at my feet just making goo-goo eyes. We're gonna fill that in with some yellow. I've been trying to decide if I was gonna use a lighter color and do an every other line highlight. Don't know what I'm going to do about that right now because of this situation. We might have to come back to it. I also have some clip art of sundials that I've added some other clip arts and things behind. I think we're going to go all the way through with the mechanics, and then I'll come back in and add in those as well. So I might give this some time to dry as we move on. Crazy girl. She drools when she gets really, really happy. Her tail gets super, 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 super fat. It looks like a raccoon tail because she's a tawny colored tabby and has the stripe. I tell her that when she's really happy, she has a raccoon tail. We're going to put some washi tape on this page. We will put some decor on this page, but I'm going to give that a little bit of time to do what it needs to do. So we'll go ahead and move on to the weekly setups. I do have headers for these as well. This one just says week. This one says week 6. Here is the 5. When I did January, we talked about how this font on some of the numbers prints like this. So I cut it apart. Somebody very smart on that video, right after I'd figured it out for myself, but then I was very grateful they told me because I very positively could not have thought about it for myself because sometimes our brains just don't work. It's like, well, when you're designing it, just put them in 2 different text boxes so that you can align it, which I will do for March and April and May and June. But I had already printed this on the washi paper because I was trying to get ahead. Good intentions, all of that sort of jazz. There's a whole nother problem when we get to week 7, so we'll discuss it when we get there. See, I think I'm going to, what did I do? I did make these in a slightly different color as well. So for January, they were in a little bit more of an orange. These are in more of a golden yellow color. See if I can get this 5 down neatly. Might have to grab the tweezers. The other header that I put on each one of these pages is an actions header. We're just going to stick that right down there. Don't know that I need those for this. That is just his to-do list, which we changed the name to actions to make it more user-friendly and less task-oriented. Less demanding, so to speak. Let's grab this and the ruler and get some lines down. We're going to set this up exactly like we did the first weeks. I'm having a moment. I don't think this is week 5. I think this is week 6. This is week 7. I have to look at a calendar. I'll be right back. I am correct. Stand by. Y'all, we're back. And we're fixed. And this is what I did. Because when I went to pull up week 6 over here, it did not come off cleanly, which is unusual. Normally the washi sticker paper does come off of here very cleanly. So I just went ahead and reprinted them all and went ahead and fixed those letters that were dangling in my Canva document. So we now have week 6. We now have week 7. Previously, I said we had a problem with week 7, and that's because it was one of those dangling ones. And when I went to cut off the 7 so that I could straighten it up, it fell. And it went through a black hole into nowhere and nothingness. I never could find it. I couldn't find it on the floor, in my lap, on my chair. I don't know where it went. So this gave me an opportunity to also go ahead and fix the 7 because I was going to have to fix the 7 anyway. I've gone ahead and stuck on week 8 and week 9 on the back half. So yeah, the mistakes. They happen even when you plan months in advance and still don't catch them. Still don't catch them. All right, we're going to go ahead and finish putting this chart together. I'm having a hard time getting this black to stay down. It keeps skipping on me, and it's got plenty of ink in it, so it has to be the way that I'm holding the ruler. I don't know. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're all going to be okay. I actually don't know if that's true because I live in the US of A. And without getting too political, this country's collapsing. Anywho, I'm going to ruler these off. Here I need to remember to not go over that top line. I want that to stay solid. Then do the same on this side. Now what I did ask the boy, specifically because I wanted to make sure that it was okay with him, is when I did January, I did these Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I thought I was doing that for my brain. I wasn't necessarily doing that for his brain. And he liked it. He said, don't change it. So we're not going to change it. We're going to leave it the way that it is. He's like, no, I think my brain works that way too. And in some ways, he is definitively his mama's boy. In other ways, he's not. Like our Myers-Briggs personalities are, other than both of us being raging extroverts, is wildly opposite from one another, which is always a good time. He's definitely a feeler, and I am not. When he got old enough to take a Myers-Briggs assessment, we learned a whole lot about one another, on how to approach one another. When he came to talk to me about things, he would preface it then with, I just need to vent. Don't want you to try to fix it, which was my cue to shut the hell up and just listen. Just listen. I think I want to make that bottom line in gold. Let's see if we can do that. I just like to put a bottom line down here to anchor it. Put that lid down. But I'm going to have to give this gold a minute to set before we can come back in here and do anything else. I think I can do some things around the gold setting. We're going to go ahead and put some dots over here where I'm going to put like Monday 03, Tuesday 04, the day of the week, and then the date. And the dot just gives us a little more interest on the page without coloring things solidly in and leaving plenty of room for him to write in his activities for the week. We're going to go ahead and color in that top line yellow. I don't know if y'all noticed, but when I decided I wanted this like bright yellow, went for an old-fashioned Crayola Super Tip. Sometimes there's a time and a place to get back out the cheap markers. Okay, now we can write in those dates. I am going to highlight every other line here just to make it easier for his eyes to see. This is the same one that I used in January. This is a much lighter color than this packaging suggests. So we'll just go ahead and highlight every other line. And when we get back to that spending log, after Dribble has subsided a little, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing there. Then to keep it really, really light, I'm going to use this end and just draw a line down in front of Monday so he can differentiate where his week starts and where he writes the action or to-do item that he needs to do here. We are going to add in some more decor, but I'm going to wait until we've done all that we need to do here. So let's go ahead and move on to week 8 and week 9. I'd gone ahead and put those down. We do need to go ahead and add their action item headers. I didn't change these from one month to the next. I'm probably not going to change them. They have the sun in them, and that works for the whole year. I don't know. There might be a month that comes along and I go, it's time to change that. We'll see. But for now, it's working for us the way that it is. Oop, that's crooked. There we go. We're just going to repeat the same steps that we just did on the other page with our ruler. So tell me, have any of y'all tried to do a creative bullet journal in a traveler size? I know a lot of people who just do regular pen and ink, hardcore bullet journal method without any bells, whistles, art, pictures in it. I know last year Hedda from Mochi Bujo did one for the whole year, and I enjoyed watching her set up her traveler size notebooks for the year. In fact, I went back and watched some of her videos to see if there was anything that I wanted to borrow in terms of her design aesthetic or whatnot. She does a lot of layering and has the scrapbooky style, which is beautiful, and I love it. And she always has mostly muted colors too, which are very beautiful. We're going to get all these horizontal ones on here first, minus the gold ones at the bottom, and then come back across with the vertical lines. I typically do my erasing off camera after filming is done, even after the flip through. Sometimes I miss lines, and he's like, Mom, you didn't erase. And I'm like, well, I did. I just missed one. But I have to have the pencil lines. I would absolutely mess up everything. And look, sometimes I mess everything up anyway, even when I have the pencil lines. This is a slightly cream-colored journal. I thought about buying some of the cream-colored correction tape for when I'm working in here, but I didn't look, and I missed that line. See, you start talking about mistakes, and then you make mistakes. We're just going to try to fix this with a good old white gel pen. I may have to let that dry and then come make another little pass at it here in a minute. That's why I keep it handy. This we're just going to freehand like that. Oh my goodness. It's like I conjured the mistake into being. We're going to use the bright gold to highlight this header. I have a darker gold. I could have gone with a darker gold to match this a little bit better, but I think I like having the different colors of yellow and not everything being the same. Y'all let me know what you think. I'm sure the boy will. He'll be like, Mom, do you know your yellows don't match? I'm like, yeah, I did it on purpose. That's the thing about having an artistic kid as well. Though his is theater arts and vocal arts and now drag, which I guess is, a form of theater arts. Qualifies. Let's write in the dates. I don't know if y'all have seen me continue to futz with this. This little corner of this actions doesn't want to stick down, and it keeps getting caught on my sweater. I don't know if it'll settle down when the journal's closed and have time to set, or if it's gonna bug the kid. I'm gonna have to ask him how it works out. Or just not point it out, and then if he comes to me and says, hey, this little piece didn't want to stay down, I'll be like, yeah, I know. I didn't want to fix it. All right, let's try again on this white. Give it another layer. Might be as good as it gets. And then, of course, put our gold line down at the bottom and be off camera for a minute while that dries. So go. I've learned it's easier to come at it from having the ruler above it, although just mess that up as well. It'll be okay. This comes over a little far. We're not gonna worry about it. That one we are not going to fix. Let me let that dry, and then we'll come back in and highlight every other line and move on to the next spread. Y'all, I'm already chuckling about how long this setup has taken me. When it was all pre-prepped and ready to go, this should have taken me about 30 minutes. Then, of course, painting would then take me a little bit longer, but we're going to chalk it up to being out of practice, having to re-download software updates and all of the things. I just looked at the time, and it's an hour past what time I really thought it was. I am just time blind these days. Time blind. Okay, let's get her done, shall we? Good old Southern phrases. Last month we had 5 weeks, so I went ahead and put a 5th week here, and then his reflection page here. We have, again, his reflection page here, but I've given him a little bit more space. We're going back to doing a full page for a playlist. Last month I just gave him 5 or 6 spots down here to write in a playlist, but this gives him a little more space. Again, I have headers, so here is the one for reflection. Here's the one for playlist. I think I'm gonna go like this and run some washi tape across the top and bottom. Put this one in first, just like that, and the reflection up here, just right there. We'll start this off with the dot marker. Just make a spot here where I'm going to draw each one of these music notes, and then we can just put these in like this. Really easy way to indicate this is a song. You can use any kind of music note you want to. We are going to put in some other things to indicate that this line is where the song goes, and then this line is where the artist name goes. But we have to draw some more straight lines. I just ask him some really simple questions. This top one is, how was February? He has another journal that he long form journals in. This is just for him to give himself a quick recap in the bullet journal of his feelings for the month as well. Here on his what went well, what didn't go well section, I'm changing those to the rhymey pains and gains, which just sounds more fun. I also try to give him a place to think about time management. He has a moment here that says, my time went to. And normally I do that as like free flow lines. I think I'm going to make those bullet points. Because again, while I try not to look at what he has written down, sometimes my eye drifts there and I can't help but see things. I kind of only put one thing down for January, at least thus far. I've lost my eraser. I'll erase those later. How was February? You can fill that in there. Gains and pains. We'll give him some bullet points below those. Time went to, and then a place for him to write in some things he wants to focus on for March. So we get the dot marker back out. For pains and gains, we'll give him spot for 3. My time went to, we'll give him a spot for 4, and then focuses for March, 3 areas. We're going to use this light marker to make some of these ruled lines here for him to answer the how was February question. Not showing very well, is it? I might have used one that was a little bit darker for January. I don't know. Here we are going to highlight place for song. I was going to do place for artist and the lighter thing, but I think I'm just going to draw a line under each one. So he can put song and then artist. That's just a super, super simple playlist spread. Sometimes I do spreads with blocks or play buttons and arrows and pause symbols. With as many videos as I need to film today, we don't have that kind of time. It's super simple, it is. Okay, let's decorate and just move backwards. I have this washi tape that not only has what looks like little suns on it, but some of those have a heart inside them, which I think is fun for February. Also have my clip art that I have made. Now, some of these are going to need to go on the weeklies because they're narrow and thin. I may need to actually do those first. Let's do that. Let's flip back and look at, see, narrow and thin. There's one. And then, does this one fit? It does. I'd prefer not to put two that look like this on the same page if I can get away with it. So let's go ahead and put this one down. And then we'll put this one here. Some of the washi tape that I ordered is black and gold because we have so much of this vibe going on. So it's not more solid gold like this. It has more black and gold in it, which I think will be a good thing to add into the mix. And then we have maybe this one. Is that one gonna fit? And maybe that one. Or if I can pick it up, maybe that one. That there, that one there. All right, and then double back to here. All right, and we have this washi tape, which we used on the front, which I might pull up and replace with this if I can get this to stick. So this is one of those really, really older washi tapes. I'm gonna pull some off and trim it off. Let's see if it will even stay stuck if I use it down here. Because I do like the circles in juxtaposition with the sundials. Do I think that's gonna stay? Seems to be staying. I think. Oh. Gonna put art. Hang on. Oh, well, yeah, that pulled up super easy. I might have to reinforce that with some glue tape or something. We will see. Playlist. That one doesn't quite fit there. This one is meant to go this way. See how much room does reflection have up there? That'll work. You can see I designed these, but I didn't make a decision on which one was gonna go on which page. All right, let's put some more washi tape up here. The boy might actually appreciate the hearts more than I do. He's far more romantic than I am. As long as it stays down. We'll see how that goes. Our weeklies are decorated. Let's come back here to this spinning log and notes page. This is another one of those ones where I can just bring the washi tape all the way across and across the bottom as well. And again, we'll see if it behaves. And again, I forgot the artwork. Hang on, let me see what I got. Let's put one of these. Let's put that in that corner. Pull that up part way. And put this sundial in this corner. And take that little piece that I just cut off and see if I can't get it to stay. It is a tiny piece. It's a little crooked too, but that's okay. And then down here, peel up a little. See if I can't get that to go there. While we're here, we're gonna go ahead and again, highlight every other line. Let's see. So if I want this to be my every other line here, I make this one here so we can go ahead and make them even, which means I'll highlight that one to there. Those who've been with me for a while will know that I would much rather wing it when it comes to this every other line highlight than take the time to mask it off with washi tape and make it all super crisp. It looks beautiful, but I do not, see that one was wonky. It looks beautiful, but I just don't have the patience for it. I tried to do it when we were setting up this bullet journal, and I abandoned it very, very quickly because it was just way too much trouble for me to want to go through, even if I do present it on the internet and try to make it look pretty. There we go. We have his notes page, his spinning log. We did decide to go in and do the every other line highlight. Brings us back to here. Look, it dried here, but Eowyn's slobber came through on this side. But I am going to, I think, pull up this washi. If I can get it up, it's newer, so it's sticking better. And I think I'm going to put this here, there instead. And then we will just straighten out that little line, add it back in, and tell the boy that he's got to talk to the girl about her slobbering problems. And then I think I even have room. I'll probably just stick this there because I have it and it's a gap. And we could leave the gap. White space is happy space. You don't have to fill every single space of your journal by any stretch of the imagination. But I am going to stick that there as well. Then we've added in the washi tape. That is it, y'all. Here is February with our Shine Time and Awen enhanced design with his spending log, his notes page, week 6, week 7, week 8, week 9, as well as a reflection page. And that's it. That's all we've got. Got to do some erasing, but other than that, the boy can come pick this up and continue using it for February. February 1st and 2nd fell into week 5, which was already set up in here at the back end of January. So he already had notes on yesterday and today, but he needs to be able to come pick this up so that he can continue planning for February. If you like this video, you guys, you know what to do. Give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.